a female student stepped forward to dive. Unexpectedly, she was frozen in midair by the teacher's superpower. Under his control, the student started spinning in the air. The opposing coach watched in complete bewilderment. After spinning 300 circles, the teacher finally let her fall into the water satisfied, and performed a water splash disappearing trick. Seeing this, the judges quickly held up their cards showing perfect scores. However, when the next student's turn came, she was so scared of the diving height that she started walking back. In the next second, the teacher pulled her back with his superpower, made her perform a perfect backflip into the water, then made her shoot up from the water like a rocket, and land steadily back on the platform. The opposing coach was completely stunned by this. He quickly rubbed his eyes to make sure he wasn't seeing things. Watching the judges give another perfect score, the opposing coach, not wanting to lose face, went straight to David saying he'd show him in the next competition. Sure enough, during the relay swimming race, David's students were completely outmatched by their opponents. As they fell behind by a whole lap, David quickly used his superpower again, successfully making his student channel her inner Michael Phelps, effortlessly passing one opponent after another. When she reached the edge for the relay, David used his superpower once more. The student flew directly from start to finish, and just like that, under David's supernatural influence, their school successfully won the championship. However, this teacher with superpowers was pranked by his students on his very first day, but David was already prepared. Seeing the students covered in dust, David deliberately acted surprised. However, when he turned to put away his umbrella, the students fired several party poppers at him, nearly making him jump in fright. Seeing the students being so mischievous, David was about to lose his temper, but remembering his powers, he quickly calmed down, then pretended not to care and continued teaching. When the students saw him sit down, they immediately clapped in celebration. They had covered his chair with super glue, but David was prepared for these little tricks. He directly unzipped and removed his pants in front of everyone. The students screamed and covered their eyes in shock, but upon closer look, they discovered David was wearing 2 pairs of pants. Seeing they hadn't succeeded in pranking the teacher, one student suddenly said it was too hot and asked David to turn on the fan. David was about to turn the switch without thinking, but quickly suspected it might be another prank, so he quickly put on the insulated gloves he had prepared. Sure enough, there was a high-voltage trap. After dealing with various pranks from the students, David prepared to write with chalk, but unexpectedly found a large rat hidden in the drawer. He screamed in shock, and quickly threw the rat away. Seeing this, the students thought their prank had succeeded. They all laughed at David for being afraid of a fake rat, but it turned out the one in his hand was fake, while the one he threw away was real. The students frantically tried to get away from the rat, causing instant chaos in the classroom. Just then, the principal came to check on the commotion. Before she could understand what was happening, the rat ran to her feet. Frightened, she jumped right into David's arms. Seeing this, the students burst into laughter again. Meanwhile, David had a helpless expression, never expecting that he would end up bearing all of this.